Hey, what's up guys, it's Darius, and today we're testing the battery life and the charging speed of the brand new Xiaomi Redmi Note 10 Pro. Now for reference, I've thrown in two other devices, the OnePlus Nord, which is a great mid-range but more affordable device, and just for fun, the insane and very expensive Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra. As always, they're on the same Wi-Fi network with Bluetooth and location enabled, and I've matched the brightness on all of them. But let's kick things off with YouTube. Just to clarify, there's a few variants of the new Xiaomi Redmi Note 10 lineup. I have the Pro model, but there's also an Indian Pro model and a Pro Max, which is only available also in India. They have some minor differences, but overall they have the same internals, so this battery test and charging test applies for all of these devices. And speaking of those internals, the Xiaomi has a 5020 mAh battery, the S21 Ultra a 5000 mAh one, and the Nord has a 4115 mAh battery. It's also quite interesting because we have a wide variety of different chipsets. The Xiaomi has a Snapdragon 732G, a brand new processor. The OnePlus Nord has a slightly higher end 765G, and the S21 Ultra has a Snapdragon 888, but I have the international model, so it has the Exynos 2100. An hour into the test, the Xiaomi is already in the lead with 95, 94 on the Nord, and only 93 on the Samsung. But let's move on with some light gaming. Another interesting aspect about these phones is the different display. All of them have an AMOLED panel, but there's a few differences. Not only are there different sizes, the OnePlus Nord being the smallest, and the S21 Ultra the biggest, but there's also a difference in terms of resolution and refresh rate. Both the OnePlus and the Xiaomi have a 1080p panel, while the Samsung has a Quad HD panel. And in terms of refresh rate, the OnePlus is running at 90 Hz, while the Xiaomi is running at a fixed 120 Hz. The Samsung is also running at 120 Hz, but it can dynamically adjust between 10 and 120 Hz, so it should conserve some battery life while the high refresh rate is not needed. And by the way, to take advantage of that AMOLED screen, I've set all of them to dark mode. 2 hours in, the Xiaomi is still in the lead with 89%. The Samsung actually surpassed the Nord now, coming in at 88 versus 87%. Now let's move on to some Netflix. After an hour of that, the Samsung and the Xiaomi are now tied at 83%, while the Nord only has 80% remaining. Now we're going to move on to some web browsing. This app refreshes a web page. I've set it to 30-second intervals, and we're also going to run it for 1 hour. The Xiaomi is back in the lead with 73%, 72% on the Samsung, and 71% on the OnePlus. I do realize that we don't use our phones constantly, non-stop during the day, which is why we're now going to do a standby test. Alright, they've been in standby for 10 hours now, and both the Samsung and the OnePlus lost 3% overnight, but the Xiaomi even bested that, losing only 2%, which is an incredible result. Now we're going to move on to some Instagram. After an hour of that, the Xiaomi and the Samsung are tied again at 64%, while the Nord is down to 60%. Now we're going to join a Zoom call, hosted on a separate device of course, and this is quite a tough test for the battery. Our meeting has just concluded, and the Xiaomi now has a small lead with 55% remaining, 51 on the Samsung, and 48 on the OnePlus Nord. As you can see, that was quite an intense test. The OnePlus lost 12%, the Samsung 13% even, but the Xiaomi only 9%. Now I ran a few benchmarks, starting with Geekbench. Unfortunately, there's an issue with benchmarks on the Xiaomi device. Not really sure what it is, but Geekbench kept crashing when I tried to upload the results, and there was a similar issue in a 3D Mark benchmark. It seems to block the internet connection to benchmarks, which is very weird. After I concluded this battery test, I tried running all these benchmarks again, but it just refused to do it. I'm not sure what's up with that. But anyways, we're over the 6-hour mark. The Xiaomi is perfectly at 50%, the S21 Ultra at 47%, and the OnePlus Nord at 43%. We're now going to move on to some 4K video recording, another very intense test of the battery life. And another weird thing with the Xiaomi was that it would only record video around 8 minutes at a time, so I had to constantly start recording again. I mean, it shouldn't really be an issue because most people don't tend to record video for that long, but I still don't understand why they limited the recording time. It's not like it's overheating or anything. And speaking of which, in the past, I've shown that the S21 Ultra overheated after around 25 minutes of video recording. That is not the case anymore, which is great. So it seems to be fixed with an update. We're almost 7 hours in, and the video recording definitely took a massive toll on the battery. The Xiaomi's down 14%, with now only 36% remaining. The OnePlus Nord even lost 17%, but the Samsung lost a whopping 25% after recording 45 minutes of video. And keep in mind, all the settings were the same. The Samsung wasn't recording 8K video or anything like that. Now I wanted to test a benchmark again, but the Xiaomi had the same issue again, unfortunately. So now we're gonna move on to TikTok. We're 8 hours in. The Redmi Note 10 Pro is still in the lead with 23% remaining, 15% on the OnePlus Nord, which surpassed the S21 Ultra now, which only has 14% remaining. We're gonna move on to some more gaming with Subway Surfers. And there goes the S21 Ultra. It lasted just shy of 9 hours, which is a great result, but given this is by far the most expensive device and it doesn't have the smallest battery capacity either, it's a little disappointing. Now keep in mind, it was running at Quad HD, but then again, it has a variable refresh rate, not a fixed one, so I thought it would do a little better. But don't get me wrong, it is a good result nonetheless. Now we're gonna move on to Twitch. And there goes the OnePlus Nord. It lasted just a few minutes longer than the S21 Ultra. Definitely a respectable result given its smaller battery capacity, but it's also only running at 90Hz and 1080p, still a great result. The Xiaomi Redmi Note 10 Pro is however still going strong with 11% remaining. We just hit the 10-hour mark and the Xiaomi has a single percent remaining. We're gonna move on to some more gaming. And there goes the Xiaomi. It lasted a whopping 10 hours and 6 minutes, which is an amazing result. It's the most affordable out of all of these devices. Yes, it has the largest battery capacity, but only by 20 milliamp hours. And sure, it's running at 1080p, but at a fixed 120 Hz. I'm very impressed with the Xiaomi Redmi Note 10 Pro. The battery life is definitely incredible. Now that they're all at 0%, we're gonna do a charging test. Now the Samsung surprisingly has the slowest fast charging, at least on paper, coming in only at 25 watts. And the worst thing is, the charger is not even included in the box anymore, which is ridiculous with such an expensive device. Both the OnePlus and the Xiaomi include the fast charger in the box, which is great. It's 30 watts on the OnePlus and 33 on the Xiaomi. But keep in mind, the OnePlus has a smaller battery capacity. 15 minutes in, the Samsung is up to 29%. The OnePlus is already at 37%, while the Xiaomi is at 27%. Half an hour in, the S21 Ultra is at 55%. The OnePlus at a whopping 72% even, which is more than the advertised 70% in 30 minutes. The Xiaomi caught up a little now, which is at 54%, but it's still less than the advertised 59% in 30 minutes. 45 minutes in, the Samsung is up to 80%. The OnePlus is almost completely charged at 96%, and the Xiaomi is at 78%. And after 51 minutes, the OnePlus Nord was already fully charged, which is very impressive. An hour in, the Xiaomi is at 92%, while the Samsung is at 94%. After an hour and 8 minutes, the S21 Ultra was also fully charged, which is a good result. And the Xiaomi was also fully charged just a few minutes later, coming in at an hour and 15 minutes. Now, what do you guys think of these results, the battery life and the charging speed? Personally, I'm very impressed with the Xiaomi Redmi Note 10 Pro. You can get it for around 250 bucks, around 16 to 19,000 in India, which is an amazing deal. As you saw, battery life is incredible and charging speed is decent. It's not super fast, but it's not super slow either. Let me know your thoughts down below and what videos you want to see next on it. Make sure to smash the like button and subscribe and hit the notification bell to not miss any of my upcoming videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one.